There's another thing I want to talk about that was also on Harvey Organ's website today. Someone also posted it to my website, realistnews.net. And I went to the original source here, which is GATA, you know, the good guys, Gold Antitrust Association, or whatever it's called. This is interesting. Now, we know old Hugo Chavez said, give us our gold, and we've been waiting all this time thinking he had it already, and only recently, very recently, days ago, did I hear the latest update that, oh, sometime in the middle or so, or early part of November, the 12th, 11th, I don't know the exact date, we're expecting our first shipment of gold. Okay. But, you know, a while back, the Mexican government bought, was it 110 tons of gold? Oh, let's see. 93 tons of gold. In the essay appended here, the Mexican journalist Guillermo Barba reports that the Bank of Mexico refuses to disclose where it is keeping the 93 tons of gold it claimed to have purchased this year. Apparently doesn't even know the form of the gold it claims to have purchased, and thus for its new gold reserves may be only an unsecured creditor of banks that are members of the LBMA, London Bullion Exchange, or Association, London Bullion Market Association, home of fractional reserve gold banking and primary mechanism of the gold price suppression scheme. Now, this is what's interesting. 2 months later, after posting a request for revision, besides a procedure for remedying the non-compliance of a request for delivery of information, which is kind of like a Freedom of Information Act in Mexico, the Unit for Liaison of Banxico, which is their bank, central bank or whatever it is, I guess, that did this transaction, bought 93 tons of gold, they thought, and are waiting for it. But they're not actually waiting for it, and here's why. The Unit for Liaison of Banxico responded in August with written communication which increased doubts. Quote, the gold. Now keep in mind, if you were a bank, central bank of your country, that is storing your country's gold, you'd have access to go look at it, see it, serial numbers, the whole 9 yards. I mean, right? If you ask me about my silver, I could go into my safe and get one particular type. You want to see eagles? You want to see maple leaves? What do you want to see? Oh, yeah, I've got those here. What year do you want? I know exactly what's in there, right? This is the Central Bank of Mexico. I mean, let's get real. And here's their reply. The gold that composes the reserve in question, which is the 93 tons, is made up of bars that may have a minimum and maximum of gold. The bars with minimum content weigh approximately 10.9 kilos, while those with maximum content have an approximate weight of 13.4 kilos. The information is published by the LBMA. What do you mean that information is published by the LBMA? You went and got that information from them. If you had the gold in your vaults, you don't contact the LBMA. Hey, listen, what did we have again? What's in your vault? Go look at it. You'll see it. Here's the order we shipped you. Here's the invoice. Here's how many bars that weigh 10.9 kilos. And here's some of the other bars that weigh 13.4 kilos. Go count them. Go weigh them if you want. They're in your vault. But that's not what they said. The Central Bank of Mexico reply was that this information is published by the LBMA. What? Due to the variability of the content of gold in the bars, it is not possible to specify with certainty the exact number of bars purchased. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine placing an order with APMEX or any dealer, and then your wife you go home, honey, how much? Your wife asks you, honey, how much silver did you buy today? Well, you know darn well I just bought 200 ounces. And then you reply to her, well, if you take, and by the way, if you take a little digital scale that can, that measure grams and ounces, you'll find that approximately 32 ounces is an ounce of silver. But you can take an entire roll or stack of 10, 20 or 25 right out of the tube and take each individual coin, as beautiful as they look, perfect, identically to each other, and you will see some weigh a gram more than the other one. This weighs a gram and a half less. This one's only 30 grams. This one's 32 grams. This one's 30.5, 31.5, etc. I've done it. But I still can't tell my wife, well, due to the fact that some of these 200 ounces, some of those are 32 grams, and some of them are 30 and a half, and some are 31, I can't tell you how much I bought today. You bought 200 ounces, 200 silver coins. End of discussion. You bought 92 tons in big bars, kilos. You know exactly how many bars you got. The way they responded to this is not good for the Mexican government, because they own paper gold. We're going to store it over here for you. Yeah, you guys own it, but we're going to store it over here for you. They took Mexico's money. You now are the proud owner of 92 tons of gold. Great, but you have to keep it here. Oh. Due to the variability of the content of gold in the bars, it is not possible to specify with certainty the exact number of bars purchased. And then he says, having received this reply, we asked the central bank, in what country or countries is the gold that forms part of the international reserves of Mexico physically located? The answer, certified document, I guess OFI 007-4939, documents of which this writer possessed copies of, by the way, it says, dated September 19th, is extraordinary. Quote, the Information Committee of Banco de Mexico confirms the classifications made by the administrative unit, and therefore access to the requested information will not be granted since it is classified as reserved. If Banxico doesn't even know how many bars it purchased, it is possible that it also does not have certain knowledge of where the gold is actually located. In the last communication we mentioned, Banxico sought shelter under the subsection 3 of Article 13 of the Law of Transparency, which is like the Freedom of Information Act, which states that the information disclosure, whose disclosure may harm the financial, economic, or monetary stability of the country, may be classified as reserved. And here's what he says, which is exactly what I said as soon as I read that. It is evident that information about physical gold, if maintained as an asset without counterparty risk and kept in Mexico itself, could not possibly present any kind of threat to the nation's financial stability. If you showed the country, your country, we've got these 93 tons all in these bars in the vault here, that's a good thing. There's no way your markets don't like that idea. The markets are crashing. Why? Because we said we bought 92 tons of gold. Here's the money. Here's the transaction. And the gold's in our vault. Why is that going to affect the markets? That's dumb. That's a complete absurdity. But if you said, oh, we bought 92 tons, everybody. Oh, great. But it's not located here on our soil. Could that cause a little destabilization in Mexico's economy, as well as the world's economy at that point? Yes, it could. So again, I can't wait to see if old Chavez has his 90-something on tons. He had 100-something tons total. 90 somewhere else, and another 90, I think, in another place. Like a lot of it was in USA, Federal Reserve, or I don't know, maybe it was Fort Knox where he was storing. I'm not sure where it was stored. And then, because we do watch other people's gold in Fort Knox, allegedly, for a fee. And then the other part, I guess, was in the LBMA. Again, same place. And as I explained to you, history of the gold, where fractional reserve lending came from, when people used gold and silver as money, and that was it. The bankers held their money in their safe areas, the banks, so to speak, back then, completely secured, and would issue a little piece of paper. Here's a little deposit slip. You can take that and go to another one of our bank branches and redeem your gold there if you wish. Oh, okay. And the bank stood by and said, well, we've got all the gold and we're holding it and charging a little fee to hold it, which is how it should be. And then that's it. Your gold is there. You put your gold there, it's there. And they decided we could lease out this gold to other people without telling the original owners we're leasing it out. but that's bad. No, 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 it's not bad, because these people that put all their gold and stuff in our vaults, they never come and get it. Every now and then they come and get a little bit. They leave it here. We could lease it out and make a ton more money. Okay, let's try it. And it worked fantastically. Fractional reserve lending took place until a little market crash started taking effect, and people got nervous. Went to the banks. Give me my gold. Yeah, listen, there's a little issue. What do you mean there's an issue? Here's my receipt. You signed it. Here's X amount of gold I've got. Go get it. Yeah, I'll be right back. And then that guy would probably leave and run for his life because the gold wasn't there. It had been lent out. It's gone. Have a nice day. And the same thing happens with today's economy. Rinse and repeat. It's just history. But even though we've done it with today's economy being paper money, digital money, we still have gold and silver, again, real money. And the big banks, the financial powerhouses of the world, know that gold and silver is real money. That's why they want all of it, because they know at the end of their paper game cycle, we must go to a gold standard. So if they defraud Mexico, and they end up defrauding, let's say, Chavez or someone else, or who knows what else, Gaddafi's gold, that's gone. The central banks will be the ones hoarding all the gold. So Mexico would say, well, you guys got our gold. Someone's got our gold. Well, no. Federal Reserve, we've had these bars here for, 15 years now. You guys had to deal with the LBMA, London Exchange. That's not even the federal government over there. That's just an exchange. You're going to have to deal with them. No, we've had this gold. That's not your gold. And again, they may try to put some of these fires out, and then people decide, I'm going to cut into these bars and find that it's filled with tungsten mostly. And then just a little bit on the outside is actually gold, which opens a whole other can of worms. Can you imagine the price of gold and silver when that happens? Can you also imagine the price of gold and silver if Mexico immediately demands, we want our real thing, bring it here, and they can't? And the LBMA blows up or something, and then all of a sudden, thanks for the $92 million, 92 tons worth of gold, which is in the billions of dollars, but it's gone. Have a nice day, Mexico. Right? So I just want to share that with you. Pretty interesting. Man, oh man. This is pretty incredible. So anyways, that's it.